Welcome everybody to One Day Today. We are on episode 56. I'm really excited about both the guests we have today. It's been pretty a transformative week for me, a pretty transformative month. There's so many exciting things that are unfolding here in this organization, in this movement that we are about to, unfold. And I'm just excited to continue to have this space. We've been going strong since April. Originally this was something that was supposed to be in person, that we were going to have an event. And then COVID happened and the world kind of twisted off its axis a little bit. And what opened up for us is an opportunity to connect with people all over the world, allow people to share their stories, their unique gifts, their unique genius. What have they been through? What have they overcome? What did they discover in themselves through their, transmuting and transforming their own fear, their own suffering, their own traumas of their life. And, speaking personally, all I've seen is just extraordinary humans just sharing, they're just true beauty. Humans, I've said this before, but I believe humans, every episode we have, this truth becomes more and more real for me. And that is that every human we're like diamonds and pearls. And it's under pressure. It's under the extreme pressures of, life and our experiences that mold us and to allow us something beautiful to shine, something that we didn't even know was there or could be there until we experience and overcome those things that are in the way, the things that are blocking us. And this space is very much a testament to, but also a space to shine the light of just beautiful people doing beautiful things in the world with all the things happening in the world. And so I'm just really excited to be here today and to have our guests. But first, let me introduce and welcome Matthew, our co-host. Good afternoon, brother.
Afternoon. It has been a transformative week and month for me as well. Like it's been kind of crazy. Like I know I've talked a lot about how angry I've been the last few months, and
Mm.
just the last couple of days. Actually, yesterday I finally like hit a route, and who knows if it's the route, but
Hmm.
um, and it was a speed limit sign of all things that triggered it. I was driving and I like drove past the speed limit sign and like that rage just like clicked in.
Mm.
And I just got curious, like, okay, what's this about? And I started drilling down, and eventually, like, it didn't take very long, just a few minutes. But like, what I realized was, at some point, I started acting as if just by being born, I owed this world something. I owe this
Mm.
society something. Like I like just by being born, there's now an expectation that because of where I was born and because of the society I was born into, there's an expectation that's placed on me to act a certain way. And I had been acting in those ways against what I really am. Um, and like that really hit. That really hit. That
Mm.
instead of just being me, instead of just letting my life and my actions flow through me, letting love guide me, and just trusting that. I have been conforming in ways that I didn't even recognize.
Mm.
And and the really ironic thing is like, it's not like now I'm going to be this huge rebel and like, go off and like completely fuck society and everything else. It's like my behavior hasn't really changed that much. Like I still obey the speed limit most of the time, but it's not because society says I have to obey the speed limit. It's just because that's what feels appropriate to me, and
Mm.
there's nothing else to it. There's
Right.
no other reason. Like so, it's just everything I do because it feels appropriate to me, not because there's some expectation to do
Mm.
it that way. And that has been a relief.
Mm. It's amazing what seemingly insignificant things can trigger the greatest of transformations. Just like something, we'll be sitting at a red light, or almost catch a red, almost like you're heading to an intersection and a red light comes and you're like, I have to wait. And it's just like, for some reason, it's like in that moment, it's like, oh, everything, if only I had passed the green light and I had not caught the red light, then everything in my life would have been perfect and everything would be great. It's like that we get so worked up over something so small, but like what you're saying, it pointed you to discover something deeper that has been there. And it's like, it's using those triggers as an opening and an opportunity to find what's been there, what's been in the way.
Absolutely. And the more I discover that has been in the way and just let it go, the more joy and ease is constantly present. And now, like, it's weird. Like, after like a really big revelation like that, it's almost like the anger still comes up, but it's not overwhelming. It's not controlling. It's not like I don't get lost in it. It just feels like a mental habit at this point. It's like just it's just used to being angry all the time, and so it's like, oh, okay, there's anger again. But anyway,
yeah, you can see it.
Training,
you can see it, but you don't have to be it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's a powerful place to be. Let's welcome our first guest. I'm excited to introduce our first guest. We have Kathi Kridler. Hi, Kathi.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for asking me to be here.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to hear your story and hear you share. So if you're all right with it, let's jump right in. Does that sound good to you?
Sounds great.
All right, Kathi, the stage is yours.
Okay, thanks. Going in and out. So I'm not one to love to be on camera and share, and I'll just put that right out there. But it's an area that I want to be better in. So if I'm asked to share, asked to be in front of people, most often I say yes, just to kind of get myself out there. So when you asked me to be here, I just thought, well, what am I going to talk about? So I thought, well, I'll just start and talk about me, because what I've gone through in my transition from, job to being an entrepreneur to just all kinds of changes in my life have kind of molded me who I am now. So I thought I'd just kind of give you a quick overview from the beginning. But back in the day, when I was in school, my major was sports medicine. So I just loved being around high performance athletes and working with them to get them back on the field. So I chose sports medicine or athletic training. And my dream was to be an athletic trainer in the NFL. Well, 30 years ago, that was not such a big thing. So and, females are just starting to be out in the field now. But anyway, that thought never really left my mind. I thought I would still somehow make it work. But in my 30s, I started to embrace my competitive side, and I started participating in triathlons and some Spartan and running races. And I did that probably for about 20 years. And I'm sharing this with you because just so you know, the passion I have for health and fitness and wellness, it's just what has always been, deep in my heart. So because I wasn't able to get a job in the athletic training industry, I went into project management. And it was okay. There were parts that I liked and parts that I didn't. And, but it's where I was. I still couldn't find a job that I wanted. I wanted a job, and the NFL was probably, reaching too high. Even college, I wasn't able to find those jobs. People hunker down once they get them. So I settled for being an athletic trainer for my daughter's soccer team when she was like 10. So that's where my college career led me. But I have no regrets. It was awesome. I did that for about 5 years. So fast forward to about 2018, and I found myself getting laid off from a 21-year career. So this caused me to do some really serious thinking about my path in life. So back to my health journey a little bit. The real pivotal moment in my health journey was about 4 years ago. I was diagnosed with Lyme disease, and I lived with this for about 23 years and didn't even know it. My doctor at the time that told me I had Lyme, she just called me and said, "You have Lyme, find a doctor." And I was like, what? Because I really didn't know much about it. I thought it had something to do with a tick biting you, but that was about as much as I knew. So my doctor told me find a specialist. She would send a referral. And I thought, okay, well, that's simple. but it never happened. I couldn't find a doctor that really wanted to take my case. I guess they don't like to treat chronic Lyme. That's what I heard. But I thought, that's okay. I'm a smart person. I can figure this out on my own. So of course I turned to Dr. Google and started researching everything. And this is really when I did this deep dive into homeopathic health. I was very much a Western medicine person. Everything that the doctors say was true and correct, but the homeopathic kind of gives you that other viewpoint into, medicine and healing yourself. And so because I felt like the doctors let me down, I was just going to do this myself. So my journey started with this DNA test, very expensive DNA test. And then I was sent on my way with a list of various homeopathic products that I needed for my health. So I think there's about 15 bottles of different little potions, and they're all very good, high quality, but I had to carry them around with me because I had to take them throughout the day, different times. So I'd carry my little box and go from place to place. So that didn't last very long because that was just not fun. It was very expensive to continue, super cumbersome. So when I look back on my health journey through life, and all the research that has gone, even in the last 4 years, and the discoveries, everything has gotten better and better. Hang on, I need to take a sip of water. So my decision was not to go back to corporate America once I got laid off. I kind of got mad at corporate America too. I just didn't like the thought of a 9 to 5, it being controlled by a corporation and that kind of thing. So I went out on my own and just decided that I wanted to have my own business, be an entrepreneur, and which leads to a whole host of fears and everything. But I was married at the time, so I had that to fall back on. I wasn't going to be like out on the streets. So it was just an interesting transition. But I knew I wanted to be in the health industry again. And I decided I just wanted to be on this mission to help people feel better. I love science. And so I wanted to catalyze positive change in health through science and technology and knowledge. That's something that really made me happy. It really drove me. So what I realized along this whole past 7 months or whatever of COVID, that people are looking for side income. They're looking for something that can even grow during a lockdown, residual income, making money while we sleep. I think we all need that. I don't know if we know we need it, but I think we need it. And anyway, so I decided to look for a company that had high integrity, preferably one of a kind, that there was no competition, and some type of product or service that they had, and also a group of people that are like-minded, that had high integrity and were empowered by their leadership to have their own business. And so I found just that. So remember I talked to you about the box of supplements that I carried around? Well, I'm going to tell you about the company that I ended up getting into. And it is a DNA-based wellness company. So what they do at a very high level is they analyze your DNA. They send it off to a medical grade lab, and then they report on the DNA. And then they help you by taking corrective action to where there's gaps in your DNA, overcoming your genetic weaknesses. So I didn't have to carry that box around anymore. I got everything in one little container, just a powder I can throw into my shakes. So, but even though this is like, it's a product, it really for me is just a business. It's a team of people joined together for a common mission in helping people. And one thing I really learned in this journey is you learn so much about yourself. When you're an entrepreneur and you're, out there making money on your own, building your own business, it really leads you to a life of self-discovery, self-growth, and really looking at your strengths and weaknesses. So, since then, I got divorced because this whole journey led me into realizing that I was in a toxic relationship and I needed to change some things. So that caused a lot of fear. Okay. So, stepping out and selling a house and going on your own and looking for a place to live, and still while you're, you don't have that income coming in, because I was making good money. I could have went back to that, but I really didn't want that. I really just wanted to be happy. I wanted to be in a place where I felt like I was doing good for myself and others. And so I decided to stay with it. And I had to do a lot of self-discovery. I started with people like Joe Dispenza. He was the first person that I came in contact with. I forget how I found out about him, but he's pretty awesome, and his whole story. And, you know, talking of mindset, that was so foreign to me. I came from a very narrow-minded perspective, you know, from a, you know, I'm a Christian, and I thought that's not of God, you know, and it was the craziest thing because it really is. But I thought everything was, you know, if you were talking about mindset, if you're talking about meditating, you know, you're just, it's wrong. But doing some self-discovery and reading and learning, and it opened my mind to a lot of things. I even had like an energy healer work on me, which is crazy because that was not of me, but it was just a lot of really different things, you know, that I participated in, and that made me grow as a person, helped me to calm down as a person and listen more instead of talking so much. And I've seen myself change. My daughter has seen myself change. And so being out on my own and, you know, taking a look at all these different ways that you need to improve yourself so you don't fail and you grow as a person has just been, it's been amazing. It's been empowering. And the group that I'm with my business, you know, you guys have the pillars with this organization. They also have pillars that we study on a daily basis: spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, relational, nutritional, and financial. That's all of them. So if you have all of those, financial is the last one. It'll fall right into place. So my goal is to build my business, to make a boatload of money, because I have plans to give back. I love giving back. I love finding organizations that need help like this one, and either volunteering or, you know, I like donating money anonymously, putting money in an envelope and giving to someone. It's just, it's what lights a fire into me and what really warms my heart. So having you invite me here, and it'll be interesting to see where this goes and how I can help this organization, and what I can do and where we can join forces. I think that's about it.
Thank you, Kathi, for sharing your story and just the wonderful work that you're up to. I think it's inspiring. Taking your, you know, taking your experiences and coming full circle and supporting others with, you know, what the gifts that you've received. And one thing that comes to mind, and just what you were saying, is like you discovered yourself being open to things that, you know, in the past you wouldn't have been. You know, just like being born in having a context, you know, like what for you it sounded like it was Christianity, is like a spiritual background. What opened up for you, and like what, you know, that you had the ability to actually learn from something that you weren't used to, that was outside of your own realm of what you knew? Like what allowed that to happen?
When you have your own business, in my experience, and most people have said this, and when you're an entrepreneur, you have to overcome so much, you know. There's a lot you're doing on your own. You have to put aside that, you know, oh my gosh, I can fail with this, you know, the unknown, you know, taking risks, all of this. And so you do what you can to make yourself better and think differently. And so there were books that I was introduced to, like, you know, Think and Grow Rich. And then Joe Dispenza, he has a couple books. So this just kind of, The Secret, you know, this just kind of streamlined all of these books. And we're reading through a book of leadership, 21, I forget what it's called. Oh, wait, it's right there. 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, you know. And so reading some of these, you learn where you have some weaknesses that you need to, you know, I need to pick this up and do this better. I'm going to have issues down the road. And so it just became this thing of, I love to read, and I was reading, I was listening to books, and, you know, I even stopped listening to the radio, you know, because I just wanted to just soak in all this knowledge. And there was a common theme of self-improvement in mindset in all these books. And so when you see these, you know, common themes, you pay attention, and it totally spoke to me. So I just, you know, that's when I started transforming. Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's I mean, well, go ahead, Matthew. You want to say something?
I've become very I enjoy seeing that path of
Mm.
transformation in other people. It's something that I've been honored to be able to witness multiple times, not just in my own life, but in a lot of my friends' lives, community members. For a while, I actually was working with spiritual retreats and helping facilitate things like that. And like what was so present as you were speaking is just the multitude of ways that people come to this self-realization. Like how every single person's journey, yeah, I know people say this all the time, but like it's one thing to hear it said, it's another thing to actually witness it and experience it and embody it. And I couldn't help but laugh as you were talking, because like you come from a very similar place to where I came from, like very Christian. I rebelled against it at a very early age, and have now kind of come full circle and actually appreciate a lot of the wisdom that
Yeah.
exists inside of it. But like I would have, like, I've never heard of anyone coming up and like finding that in homeopathy, and that's what really got me. Is like, it's like, oh man, yeah, there's that. Wow, whatever it is, it's okay. Like there is no bad thing as far as I can tell. It's just everything eventually self-corrects. There's something that like I'm curious about. You mentioned Joe Dispenza twice, and I've watched a few of his videos and I really love it. Have you ever done his pineal meditation? And if so, how has that affected you? Like where have you gone with that?
I did it a while ago, so I can't really explain my experience. I need to do, okay, so meditation is hugely important, right? And it's one of those things that I need to do more. And I know that. So I actually just got this meditation cushion and it hooks in, has music, and you put headphones on. So I'm thinking that's going to help me just slow myself down and get my butt on some cushions so I can just sit and just be grounded and just calm. Because I need more of that. And I know I'll get amazing results because yeah, and you're right. That meditation, that's from probably a couple of years ago when I first started, reading about him and hearing about that meditation. And I really need to get back to it because I want to go to his retreat. He has a 7-day retreat. That's on the bucket list. Yeah.
What exactly do you mean when you say you need? Like, what does that mean to you?
Well, it's what I think will serve me really well. It will help my body. It will help my mind. It's something that is really necessary for my growth. I think meditation is huge. And although I'll sit for 5 minutes and close my eyes or go for a walk and not take my cell phone, that's a form of meditation, but it's just quieting your mind. And so for me, I need it because it helps me, and I think if I do that on a regular basis, I'll see some changes, in myself. So that's the goal. There's little areas where I need to improve for sure. And that's definitely one of them.
I asked that question specifically because I still find myself in that space sometimes where like I feel like I absolutely need something, and I felt that way about meditation for a long time. But I never got to the point where I actually developed the discipline to practice every single day at a specific time. And I was talking to a friend of mine about it several years ago, and I was just kind of complaining, like I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this. And he's like, well, like I've watched you, and he said, as far as I can tell, there's two types of discipline. There's the discipline of practice, which is what you're talking about, what you say you want, and then there's the discipline of right now, which is just the ability to do whatever is necessary in this exact moment.
Mm-hmm.
And when he said that, there was this, I've got right now in spades. Like if I really if I feel drawn to like stop and just, and I noticed that a lot when I was traveling. Like there were times where I would just literally stop and I would just immediately drop into a meditative trance, just out of nowhere for whatever reason. It was a really kind of fun and yet at the time freaky experience, because like people would be talking to me, like trying to get me to come out of it, and I would just be like, I would hear them, I would know they were saying, and I would be aware of them, but I would just be gone, like
Wow.
not responsive at all. It was crazy. So I guess like what's coming is I've often found that an attachment to a particular idea tends to lead me to an entirely different place from what I thought it would. Like, so, if you feel like you need meditation, yeah, absolutely go for it. 100%. Just, I would invite you not to be attached to an outcome.
There's a lot of science behind it, though, too. I'm a sciencey person, so I'll read a lot about it. And like you can anything you put your mind to, you can do. And I know that for me, I'm type A. My mind just races. And if you want to have clear thoughts and maybe better thoughts and new thoughts, you got to slow down. And there's a lot of science behind that. And getting in that habit, like you're saying, you couldn't do it. You can. Habits take time to form. I forget how many days it is, but once you do something over so many times, it forms a habit. And that's, I'm reading this book now called The Morning Miracle, and it talks about routines in the morning and where most successful people do in their routines in the morning. So that's what that's my next phase, is getting into that morning routine, because I tend to get up and get on my phone and I'm doing emails and texting, and that's not good. You need to take that time. I know everybody really should. I think that grounds you. It gets you ready for the day, where you just take that pause, and that's where just, writing your goals, journaling, and, maybe going for a walk or whatever. Everything I've read, every book I've read on that, this is what you need to do in the morning. Don't just jump on your computer, so, and that's hard for me. That's definitely a change. I think that's going to be a change for the good. So I'll play around with it and we'll see. I could be wrong, but I'll let you know.
I'd be curious to see how it goes.
I'll give you a call and say, that meditation stuff, they're all wrong. It sucks.
Who knows? Maybe at some point it will click for me, but it still hasn't. It's been years. I've done, I've actually committed to 30-day practices and 3-month practices. And then as soon as that period is over, whatever time I've committed to, I just fall back into just whatever I need in this moment is that's it. That's all that matters. So who knows? Like I would definitely enjoy keeping track of your journey.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, well, my experience, I haven't studied thorough meditation. I've done many practices of meditation. In my experience, meditation isn't just sitting in darkness. Oh, yeah. There's walking meditation. You could be driving and meditating. There's not, for me, it's really focusing on my breath, mm-hmm. and not really fully identifying with what's happening in the external world. Exactly. Having my own, just having my own breath, and it's really sitting in my body and seeing the thoughts, seeing the emotions, seeing all the things that are, the stories in my head, just seeing that, but not having to go to embody it fully. It's just, you can just observe. And I think meditation is not just the thing that we think of when we see a movie, it's not just somebody sitting in crow pose, or I forget the name of sitting in the pose and just closing their eyes. There are different types of meditations, but
you're right. And walking is a good form of meditation, just walking out in nature, and, mm-hmm. No electronics though, just mm-hmm. calming your mind and stuff. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of different forms, but, for me, I have a hard time calming my mind. Thoughts go and I'm just like squirrel, so.
Right. Well, that's kind of part of, the society that we live in is, we have not only is there a short attention span to our culture, to mm-hmm. how we, like, if you see advertisements, you can't go on Facebook, you can't do your email without, like, distractions are everywhere. And like, we're always called to multitask. And like, just for myself personally, like, I've pretended for most of my life that I could multitask, because I'm like trying to do everything. And it's like, and like, this is how I let my mind go on overdrive. I'm trying to do all the things ever. And for me, it's like, it's overbearing that I can't, like, I know I'm out of balance when I think I need to do something to be okay and to be centered. And it's like, and meditation is a function, or is a process or a tool to get to that state. It's just getting back to square one of not having to do anything to be complete. And it's like this idea, and it's like Western society, you know, like your phone, like our phones are a part of our lives. So like, that's how we stay connected. But sometimes I will be so caught up in what's happening in my business and my personal life and the world and this and that, where I can't even recognize myself for who I truly am. Like, or I can't even pause because I'm just caught in the action as opposed to grounded in my being. And that, for me, that's for the power. Because like there's a million types of meditations, but ultimately it's like, it's being grounded and, you know, where our peace that we experience is unshakable in our, you know, where whatever's happening in the external world, you know, when I can keep my own peace, keep my own feeling of love, of just serenity, you know, there's nothing to be, it's just a reminder, there's nothing I need to do to be fully complete, to be who I fully am. And it's like, that's a hurdle in Western society because we're taught, you know, it's always action that leads to success. Well, there is action that is a component of success. What's the point of success if we're just out of balance and zombies to our own, you know, our technology and our systems that we don't even see and experience ourselves just in the present moment without having to do anything.
Yep. Totally agree. Exactly. Yeah.
Just real quick, as you two were talking, there was one phrase that kept coming up over and over again, and it's life is meditation. And like, you know, as both of you were saying, like anything can be meditation. Like, and meditation isn't a thing. It's just being. It just is.
Yeah, just being. Yeah.
Just being. Yeah. So yeah, I appreciate that conversation.
Absolutely. Well, Kathi, we're going to check back with you in just a little bit. We're going to invite our second guest here in a moment. But thank you so much for who you're being and just for sharing your gifts with us. And just want to acknowledge you for just the light that you are and that your commitment to support others and communities and individuals. So just thank you for who you're being and for sharing with us. It's just such an honor to have you.
Oh, thank you. It's been great being here. You guys are fun.
Awesome. Well, we're going to check back in with Kathi in just a moment. I'm going to take this opportunity to just speak to you viewing in and listening in. I want to invite you. This is your space. It's not my space. It's your space for you to share your gifts, your unique genius, your unique gifts. This is your space to share what have you overcome? What fears, what trials, what tribulations, what have you faced in your life? What traumas have you overcome and transformed? And on the other side of that, you found something in yourself that was so much bigger than you ever even imagined was there to begin with. Now, this is your space to share your gift. Even if we don't know, and myself, I include myself in this. Most of my life, I didn't even know who I was and what my gifts were. And it's like we all have something unique that we bring to this planet. We have something that enriches all of us. We have something that contributes to all of us. And that's why this space is here. I want to hold this space for you to share your gift of who you are. So this is an open invitation. Go to the website, onedaymvmt.org/share-my-gift. And I'd love to have you share. And this is an open invitation. This is exactly what our one-day mission entails, is bringing you and me and communities together in joyous celebration, unifying humanity in our diversity to create a better world for us all. And that's what we're doing, one story at a time, one share at a time. So now I'd like to introduce our second guest. Let me introduce Haim.
Hi.
Hi, Haim. Thank you for being here with us.
I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad that you invite me.
Absolutely.
It's an honor to be on your show.
It's an honor for us as well. Well, I'm gonna let you have at it. I'm excited to hear your story. But Haim, the stage is yours.
1969. I was in age 13, going 14, and that was the time when I moved from grammar school to high school. Back in the 70s, electronic was the big thing, which is mean everything was electronic, the television, the radio. So if you know that skill, you have a trade that's good for long, many years ahead. And I registered into school that teach electronic. But they have different path for me. They say, no, you're not going to learn electronic. You're going to be auto mechanic. Well, in that age, you don't argue. What they give you, you just take it and run with that. So that's what I was doing. 1985, I got married. I'm still mechanic. I got married. 1995, I got divorced. I have 3 kids from that marriage. And I got divorced from a reason that it didn't work. Me and my ex, it didn't work. So I didn't want my kid grow up in a house that yelling, screaming, fighting, throw stuff at each other all day long. I said, those kids not deserve that. This is not the world that they need to see, that they need to live. So I said to my ex, you know what? Take everything. Take the house, take the money, take the car, take whatever you can, take. I know I did it once, I learned how to do it, I'm gonna do it again. So it's end up that I was taking my suitcase and stepping out. And stepping out, I said to my ex, here, I'm leaving now. So here's my suitcase. If you want to take now, because when I leave, you can't take anymore. Said, no, it's your clothes. What I'm going to do with that? When I step out, I become homeless. I didn't have any place to go. So I was sleeping in my car for quite a while. And it was winter and it's cold and it's all what's around to being homeless. And then one day I called to my brother that lived in New York, and I asked him to send me a ticket. I said to him, do me a favor, I want to sleep in a bed. Yeah, I want to take shower from time to time. I want to change clothes, to live like a human being. I can't do it here, where I am now. So he sent me a ticket, and then I came to New York to live. Now I face new challenge. I don't speak English. And not only that, if I leave the house where I live, I don't know if I know the way back, because I came from place that to overseas. It's a new place for me. I don't know nothing. And I can communicate because I don't speak the language. And what I did back then, I said, the first thing I need to learn if I'm here, if I'm planning to live here, is to learn English. So slowly, that's what I did. I learned. I have a lot of error, but this is the way I learn. I make error and I correct myself. People correct me and I learn. Now I need to have income. So I try to do all kind of stuff. I did plumbing, I did construction, I did electric. And I said, why I need to do something that I need to learn from beginning? Why not to go to do something that I know? What I know to fix car. So I was searching in my neighborhood, and it was 1, 2, 3. I find place that hire me to work on car. So right away, I was starting to have income. I start to learn the language, and I find myself. Then come 2008. 2008, the recession came, and the place I used to work, the number go down. So the manager came to us, the employee, and said, look, I need to make the number up, and you're going to help me. And I said, what do you mean? He said, well, every car that came to the shop, you need to make the owner pay. I said, well, what do you ask me to do? He said, well, whatever it is, make the owner pay. I said, well, I'm not comfortable with that. I never did that in my life. I'm not comfortable doing that now. I'm not a kid. He said, well, you're going to have more money in your pocket. I say, even worse, you don't teach me how money works. You just give me more money to spend. And when you're going to give me that extra? Only when you make it. And if you don't make it, I sell myself very short. And I'm not willing to do it. So in January 2009, He showed me the door. And I was out. I was searching in my neighborhood to find some other place to work. Nobody want to hire me. I'm overqualified. Your age, there is your skill, there is what you know. And one day I did something that most people don't even think about, which is I turn around and I say, who am I? What I know about myself? What I'm doing here? And I find out two things. I find out I love people and I love to help people. But that's still what I'm going to do with that. I know to fix car. What? I'm going to fix people? I don't think so. It's not the same. As I'm searching, I say, well, with that, what I know about myself, that's what coaching do. Coaching help people and support people. So I took course online. The school was in Australia, not even in state. And it was, you dial and you're in a class. And I didn't graduate. I have some argument with the school about graduation, which they said, in order to graduate, you take person, you fix his problem, and you move on. I said, well, that's not coaching, that's therapy. I said, well, that's what we teach. In every school that you will go, it's about the same thing. So I say, well, I have a better way to work with people. And they say, okay, what is your way? I say, I take something good in that person and make it great. That's more appeal to me. That's more fun to work. I will get more result than to deal with problem. I say, we don't teach that. I say, well, that's what I want to do. They say, okay, you're on your own. So from 2009 to today, I wrote a book. I have my own talk show on a cable here in New York. I hold a group for meetup group, if you're familiar with this platform. I have over 1,400 members that I used to give lecture twice a month. And it was about how to raise your self-esteem and how to build your confidence. I have close to 90% success rate when I'm working with people. And there's few things that it's kind of my Bible, which is I don't give advice to people. I don't tell people what to do. Yeah. And I'm not working for money. It's not that I'm not gonna, I will take the money, don't get me wrong. But if I don't see that you take action on your behalf, I don't see any reason why to work with you. Yeah, so for me, it's your action. That's what's important. When you take action, you see progress. You see something going in your life, which is when you look at me, I'm not going to do your work. If I do your work, I get the prize. You left with nothing. When you do your work, what you want to do, you get the prize, not me. I just hold you accountable to that. Yeah. And one thing led to another, and that's who I am today. I teach, I help. I have a lot to say on about everything. I have my own YouTube account. Yeah. And I see life happen on basically on a two level. There is time, there is activity. We need to learn how to work with time. If you don't know how to work with time, you're missing out. Yeah, so this is something you can learn. And if not, I can help you. I'm very good on time management. Activity can be increased, can be decreased, can be replaced. Now, even when you're thinking, in this moment, how long you stay there, this is the time. Yeah. My job is to take what you think, put it into action to get results and to get experience. Now, when we have result and we have experience, is how we feel about what we do. Yeah? If it's that make you feel good, let's keep going. Let's keep doing that. If it's not make you feel good, just stop. It doesn't work. So this is basically how life working. The book that I wrote, I'm the only one can read it because I wrote it in, there is no grammar. And the book talk about five chapters. It's about, the first chapter, it's about awareness. We need to realize we live in two places, inside and outside. Now, for the most people, the outside control what's going on inside. And that's make you pissed off, upset, and not knowing what's going on. We need to take what's going inside, and then you understand why the outside behave the way it behave. What's going on. The second chapter was about belief. I make it short because of the time. It's about belief. When you are aware of what's going on in your world and the outside world, your belief is supposed to guide you to do whatever it is that you want. And I am good example for that. I was one thing and I moved to the other end of the scala to do something else. And I can do it, and I'm successful with that. I'm successful with both ends. So there is no limitation. You can do whatever it is that you want. The third chapter, it's about health, which is we need to be healthy in two places, mind and body. When you neglect one, you neglect the other. When you have one, you have the other. As a result, we're kind of happy person. If you're aware, you know what's going on inside and out, you believe that you can do whatever it is that you want, and you're healthy, you're a happy person. As the outcome of all that, you're going to create wealth. Now, wealth, it's divided in two. Part of that, the wealth, is the income, the money that you have. The other part is people. Without people, you can create wealth. And what's happened with many, many cases, people reverse the happiness and wealth, which is mean they have happiness on condition, which is when I have that, when I do that, when I create that, then I'm going to be happy. You're not going to create wealth because you put it on condition. Yeah? So the key is to be happy before, now the wealth going to come. And on that the way I explain that when I work on a business end with people is in the marketplace, there is three branches. There is ideal, there is service, and there is product. People will join your ideal, people will use your service, and people will buy your product. Now, to do that, we need to learn how people communicate, how people process information, what makes people tick. When we have that, now we have one of the three branches or two or three of them combined. Doesn't matter, it's the way you choose. And that's what we learn to do when we learn how to work with people. Then we create wealth. Then we create whatever is that we want. And that's the short version of me.
Thank you, Haim, so much for sharing your story. I admire your shining light in the face of adversity. You know, how just what you were saying about happiness, how a lot of the time we act like once I have this, once I have money, or once I have that, then I'll be happy, as opposed to maybe happiness is the root and the source of having prosperity. You know, it's not the effect, it's the cause. And I think that's such a beautiful way to think of it, because it's like, you know, to have you know, our full satisfaction about the life we're living, about who we're being in the world. You know, we get to choose. We get to choose, like, you know, regardless of what's happening on the outside, I can still choose love. I can still choose to find the joy. I can still choose to seek the beauty. And I think that's a beautiful place to be standing. So I'm curious, just from all of your experiences, you know, from, you know, starting in school to, you know, you're going to New York, and you know, being in new situations. What what do you tell yourself? Like, what lesson did you learn, or what, standing where you are now, what would you tell yourself when you were going through that process still, when you were still learning the lessons that you've learned now?
I have no limitation, and I can do whatever I want in my life, and I prove, and I didn't even touch. I will tell you. Now I'm in Pennsylvania, and I live in a house that we have 2 floors, 2 levels. And on the second level, we have 2 rooms and big loft. And what we're missing, it's a bathroom. Because if we have guests that's coming to the house and at night they need bathroom, they need to go down and make a lot of noise, they wake everybody up. So we discussed, me and my wife, to build a bathroom in the second floor. And I said, well, I can do that. She said, what do you know about that? You're auto mechanic. You stopped to do mechanic for more than 15 years now. So how you can build back? I said, well, I think I can do it. I don't think, I know I can do it. And we go back and forth, and she give up. She said, all right, go ahead, do it. What my thinking was, if I'm going to be stuck, not able to finish, I can pay somebody to come in and do it. So I build a bathroom in the second floor. When I build a bathroom, I bring all the plumbing from the first floor. So I didn't have sink for about 2 weeks. In the meantime, I grow a beard. Now, my wife liked the beard. She said, keep it. So now I have a beard and I have a bathroom. We used to have rug in the first floor. We didn't like the rug. So I say, I can change. I can put floor here. She said, well, you did the bathroom. You probably can do that. So I changed the floor. And now I have a lot of time on my hand because of the corona. So I start to build furniture, all kind of chair and table. And this is my spare time. So I can do, everybody can do. Just you put your mind into and go ahead to do it. And I go even further. When I'm walking with people or I'm talking to people, it doesn't matter who's that. There is 3 things I eliminate from the get-go. You will never fail. It's impossible to make mistake, and you never do anything wrong. It doesn't work that way. When you do something that doesn't work, why you give it other name? And the big example that I give is, let's say that you walk into your kitchen, you're hungry, and nobody in the house, right? So what's the simple thing to do? It's egg. Take egg, you break it, you scramble, you put on a skillet, 2 pieces of bread in a toaster, you have a meal. Is that meal going to come the same way do you serve in a diner? No, but you have an egg. You didn't fail. You didn't make mistake. It just didn't come the way you eat it in a diner. You want to make it like a diner, do it every day. In 1 week, one month, you're going to be better than the diner. Everything in the universe working that way. Take baby. Baby, in order to stand, he have about 200 attempts. And he don't give up because he don't listen to you. He don't listen to anybody. He listen to himself. This is the age that you have only the inside. You don't have the outside. Think about that. When you're a baby, you have only the inside. You don't have outside.
Yeah, that's so powerful.
You say, if you can stand, I will stand. It's going to take me long as it's going to take me, but I will do it.
Right. Our failure is our teacher.
In a way, it sounds like you have gone from accepting what other people say this world is to defining what it is for yourself. And
I don't accept what other people said. I just don't.
There's no point. Like what you were talking about when you were in high school, like, you know, electronic is a thing, right? And they said,
back then,
mechanic back then, and now you're creating for yourself instead. You're not accepting that. No, you're going to be this, and you're saying, I am this.
I will go more deeper in here, which is what causing stress to people. Here is the thing. we born with 3 switches in our mind that's supposed to help us in life. It depends when you flip the switch, which side, right or left. Now, most of the people flip it to the side that not support them. What does that mean? How does that make you feel when nobody love you? How does that make you feel when nobody appreciate? How that make you feel when nobody care? It's make you feel horrible, not good, right? Let's flip the switch to the other side. If you don't love yourself, what do you want from me? If you don't care about what you do, what do you want me to care? If you don't appreciate what you do, why are you doing that? You do it for yourself, not to any other person. That's cause stress to people. It depends when you flip the switch. You can take it that way or you can take it that way. It's the choice that you make.
Absolutely. That's something that's come up in the show a lot is the power of choice and the choice that we all have. I find like talking to a lot of people, they don't realize they have that choice. Like it's just, it doesn't occur to them. It's never been talked about. It's never like they have no earthly idea. And however they discover that choice exists tends to be one of the biggest lessons of their life and one of the greatest things they get to teach others is that choice exists. So I love the way you put it. Like it is all about what do I expect from someone else when I can't do the same thing for me.
I will go even the group that I used to host at a meetup group. I used to teach how to build confidence, how to raise your self-esteem. And to do that, there is 4 areas in our life that we pay different attention, which is mean. First, stop to be confident. When we are confident, we are comfortable. When we're comfortable, we're sitting and we relax. That's what it is. In the meantime, the world is not stopping. It's keep going. Now, when you want to catch up, you get up and start to run, and you're all the time in the end. You never get to the front. The second phase is to be not uncomfortable, is to be selfish, which is mean that you don't have, it's not like you have 2 cookies in a jar and you take them both. But see what happened when you go on airplane, the first thing that they tell you, when the oxygen drop and the mask come down, put it first on yourself. Then you take care of the person next to you. Yes, that's what I mean. You need to be selfish to have. If you don't have it, what you share with others? Nothing. If you want to give money to somebody and you don't have it, you can't. So you need to have it first, which is when you take care of yourself first. Now, when you take care of yourself first, now you can share it with others. The third place, this is kind of slip of my mind. I go to the 4th, is to be abnormal. Normal people don't succeed in life. That's a fact. The normal come from the word norm. What is norm? It's that society created, which is when somebody step out and do something on his own, they critique him. Hey, come back to the line. Don't do something that you don't know what you're doing. Step in, go back to the line. But who's the people that running the world? Only the people that have their own thinking, their own way to do things. And it's not about politics. Yeah, but look who's the president. He do the thing the way he want to do it. And nobody can tell him what to do. And those are the people that running the world. In any place in the universe, in any place, in any company, people that think outside the box running the world, that not abnormal people. Normal people not going first, not going anywhere.
Yeah. Wow. I want to bring Kathi back in this conversation for us to close. So
Okay.
just to what you were saying, welcome back, Kathi. But
Thank
to what one of the points that Haim was saying that really resonated with me is kind of what he was talking about with failure. You know, like I'll use the example of Thomas Edison. You know, I think it took him like 1,000 or 5,000 tries of making the right materials to get the light bulb to work. And when I asked him what was it like to fail that many times, he's like, he didn't fail. he saw 1,000 ways to not make a light bulb. And it's like, I'm wondering, like, I've learned my biggest lessons in life, not really from my successes, but from my failures, because they taught me something to do on the next time when I actually got up. And I'm wondering if you had any experiences with failure. I do in quotes.
You asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking everybody. I'm asking you specifically.
I've failed a lot of times.
No, you didn't.
Life's experiences. I have no regrets, though. I'll tell you that. I don't have any regrets.
You know what? I have a question for you, for all of you. What is the opposite of success?
Inaction. Wow.
You can say failure because this is part of success.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
The opposite of success is mediocre. Mediocre don't do anything, so he don't expect anything. There's nothing happen. But when you do something, you get result. No matter what you do, you get result and you get experience. When you get result and experience, now you know how is that work. You don't listen to no one. You don't need to listen to anybody. If you feel good about what you do, just go ahead and do it. This is the reason I don't give advice to people. It doesn't work. Yeah, I explain it that way, which is, if you need law advice, you go to lawyer. You need medical advice, you go to doctor. If you want entrepreneurial advice, we're supposed to go to the guy on the top of the chain and ask him for advice. You don't get advice. You get the blueprint. He tell you, I start here. This is the action step I take to get me where I am today. We don't do that. We ask the neighbor, we ask colleague, we ask the friend, we ask family. What we get? Opinion. We don't get advice. And the opinion is to talk you out, not to talk you in.
I'd like to add something to that, actually. People can only give advice on things that they have already done. And the only place that seems to lead is to what already exists. And so the question that comes up in any of those situations is, do you feel that what exists and what they are advising you to actually resonates for you? Like, is it something that you want to be or become? And if not, like, just, I don't know how to put this. Like, there's.
So let me tell you a story, Matthew. Sorry, I'm crossing, but you will understand where I'm coming from. I was working with single mother. Yeah, she was selling insurance for a living. And we were kind of talking like that back and forth. And she said, oh, wow, I know with you, I can be what I want to be in my life. I don't know if I can afford you. I don't know if I can pay you, but I'm confident with you, I can be what I want. I said, you know what? Let's leave the money aside now. Yeah, I mean, tell me what you want and let me decide if I want to work with you. It's my decision also. And she said, okay, I want to be actors. Say, okay, what are you willing to do to make that happen? That's my next question. She said, whatever it takes. I said, you know what? That intrigued me. Let's start to work. And you're going to have income. We're going to talk how you compensate me. Before you know it, she started to get audition. Not only that, she get picked up in audition. Until the money came, the investor came and give them money to start to roll and shoot. She started to play in small theater in Broadway, New York. I was auto mechanic all my life. I have no clue. I have no idea how to be actor. This is not my job. I can give advice. What I give is something else. When you carry 100 pounds, it's 100 pounds. When I came, I help you with 50. Now you're not alone. You have another person with you. So I don't give you advice. I come help and support. That's what you want. You don't want somebody to come and tell you how to do things. And that's what I provide. That's what I bring to the table.
Right.
I don't give advice.
Right.
You want to go to the moon? Somebody did it. Let's see how we did it. Let's do it in your way, the way you want to do it. I'm not going to tell you how to do it. It's not my job.
Yeah. How about you, Kathi?
What's the question?
Well, one,
There's a lot going on
yeah,
there.
there's totally a lot. Well, first, if you had anything to respond to what Haim was sharing, but my original question was about what have you learned from your failures, or what is your relationship been? How have you developed a relationship with your failures and who you are today?
Well, I'm a really competitive person. So if I, fail, like he's saying, you don't really fail, but if I don't achieve the goal that I want, okay, we'll put it that way. So you may look at that as a failure or whatever. If I don't achieve a goal because I'm competitive, it makes me want to do better. If someone says I can't do that, I try more, I persevere, more determination. There's certainly times where I get down and, feel like, oh, am I doing the right thing? And you kind of, you have that self-talk going on. But I usually can get myself out of that pretty quick because I know that what I'm doing now is what I want to do. And I know I'm going in the right direction, and everything that has happened is people that cross my path, everything's happened for a reason completely. And I really feel like even the marriage thing, no regrets, there's always a reason, and it's put me in a better place. I feel wiser, and I feel like I make better decisions now. So it's too bad this didn't happen like 20 years ago. That would have been a lot more fun, but it's okay. It is what it is.
Well, you learned what you learned through learning or not learning, and that's part of the process. It's
exactly.
I said this before for myself. It's like my experience is like we're all born. Humans are born in a bubble, and we think the bubble that we're born in. This is the conversations of society, the norms. Like Haim was talking, like we're born in, and we think that the bubble that we are born in is the entire world. The external world that we see through our eyes is this bubble, and we have this identity that we build up. Like this is who I am, and this is what I do, and this is what I don't do. This is what I'm good at. This is what I'm bad at. This is good. This is bad. This is right. This is wrong. But we have this bubble that we have this whole understanding of the way we see of what reality means and what it is. And at some point our identity kind of hits a wall with, and our bubble pops. And what we think is the world was actually just a story and an idea that we have been repeating through generations and stories and conversations. And I would argue that not until our bubble pops could we actually discover and experience who we truly are. Because the world is so much bigger. We are so much bigger than the stories we have on repeat in our own head, in our own experience. And I just feel that I feel this is universally true. This is my opinion. I feel it's something that for us to attain our own authentic true self and the experience of our true self, we have to kind of fall on the floor to see the world isn't as small as we thought it was when we were growing up. It's not as black and white as we think it is, and it's not as definitive and as easy to grasp as we'd like it to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally agree.
Well, yeah. I really want to thank both of you so much for sharing and being here and just sharing your stories and your insight, and just I really honor both of you, and I'm grateful that you shared with us, and I would love for you both to come back and share some more soon.
Just invite me. I'm ready. I'm ready to roll. Yeah, I facilitate workshop, so I have a lot of material on PowerPoint to run on. Basically, what I teach is communication and relationship, because everything in the marketplace build on that. When you know how to communicate with people and how to build relationship, that's the key for any business, no matter what is that you do. And I basically teach principles. I don't give you action step because this is not the way I believe it's work. Yeah, I teach you principle. You take it and you run with that the way you believe. Because to change people believe, this is the hardest part in the world, but there is process to work with that. I change people believe, I change people walk. I prove to people how much they can do with what they have now. And I can sit here for hours just talk about story about people that I work with and what happened in their life.
That sounds lovely. Well, we'll have you back next
I
time,
would
Haim,
say
to
to
share some
you,
more. I want
I would
to
say
give.
to you, Kathi, don't set goal. People set goal, they set themselves to be upset, pissed off, and not happy. But when you change it, it's a lot about language. If you set target, it's much lighter. It's
Mm,
much easier to go with that. Goal
yeah.
is 0 from 100 in one day. But when you set target, it's a process.
Mm-hmm.
There is action step that in between that you take in and you got close to what you want. But when you look back, oh wow, look how much I did.
Mm. Thank you, Haim. Well, I would love to hear more about it. Share with us next time. Any last words you'd like to share with us, Kathi, before we close?
No, I'm good. It's been fun. It's been very enlightening, and I'm looking forward to my bubble popping.
Yeah. Well, that's why we're here, just to support each other, right? Right, Haim?
Yeah.
We're here to support each other. So thank you so much, both of you. I really just appreciate it, and I'm just so grateful that you shared your story and it enriched me. I've learned a lot, and I know it's been enlightening for our listeners and viewers as well. So thank you for being here. We'd love to have you both back and share some more. But to you at home, again, I want to invite you. This is your space to share your gift, to share your genius. This is why I'm holding this space. Is because I want to. Maybe it's a little bit selfish, but I want to receive the gifts and I want to receive the insights and wisdom that you have to share, and that moves me and that moves everybody in this world. You being you and you experiencing you in your fullest true potential of who you truly are. There's something beautiful when you actually share it, and on the other side of you sharing it is there's magic that we all receive and we are enriched by. So, and this is part of our 1-day vision. And our vision is that humanity is rising in a connected world with each person's unique contributions being valued and magnified through a higher level of collaboration, producing unprecedented new realms of possibility. Thank you all for being here with us. I love you. Be safe. Be well. We will see you on next Tuesday. And as always, one day is today. Take care, everybody.